Hey, this is Chris Otter. Welcome to another Magic the Gathering moment. I was at a pre-release for Journey into Nyx. I actually did pretty good, and I got some boosters that I can open up in front of you all. But first, I'm going to tell you a little bit about my experience. For those who haven't been to a pre-release party, it's an opportunity to get to see the cards from the new set that are coming out before you can actually buy them. When you go there, you get yourself a box with the cards in it. It'll come with booster packs, a sealed set deck that'll have your promo card depending on what color you picked. So I went with blue because I enjoy all the colors. The colors are great. So in there, you get yourself your booster packs. You get your spin down life counter, they call it, but I like to call it a 20-sided die. You got a little bit of thing that's the welcome into the thing, welcoming you in, sort of like, and it describes how blue interacts with the different colors, how the deck would feel with this expansion. And you got the Hero's Path thing, which not the following week, but I think it's the week after, that there's a set deck that you could play against in order to unlock achievements on the Magic the Gathering website. You can earn Planeswalker points, you can earn different titles. It's a way of keeping track. Like if you are doing really well at Magic and you're earning a lot of points doing these other challenges, when you go to tournaments you can earn buys, which are automatic wins in the tournament if you have enough points. So there's definitely advantage to playing a lot. And so, like, Magic rewards your loyalty in that sense. So, I ended up building a blue and black deck. I'll just show some of these cards now. Let's show you some of the new ones. Here is the promo. Scourge of Fleets. When Scourge of Fleets enters the battlefield, return each creature your opponents control with toughness X or less to its owner's hand, where X is the number of islands you control. This is a great board clearer for me. It really opened up, then my creatures can get in and attack. This is not from the Journey to Nyx set, but it's a very powerful card, especially with some of the new keywords coming in through Journey of the Nyx. Like, for the instance, the Arbiter of Ideal. It'll bring, when you untap it with Inspired, it'll reveal the top card of your library. If it's an artifact, creature, or land, it gets put onto the battlefield with a manifestation counter. And the manifestation counter makes that card an enchantment as well as whatever other type it might be. And that works really well with, let me just find the card I am talking about, there's lots of different cards with this keyword. Unfortunately, I think I only had the one in my deck. It's the Constellation trigger word. So whenever Grim Guardian or another enchantment enters the battlefield under your control, each opponent loses 1 life. So you can see, if you're getting a free card that's going to be a guaranteed enchantment out with the Arbiter of the Ideal, this trigger will go off for free. So you're automatically smacking your opponents for a life every turn. Oh boy, another good card that was in my deck was the Hero's Downfall. Just your all-purpose, really good removal. Destroy target creature or planeswalker. Being able to just smack a planeswalker down can be really handy, because those planeswalkers can be buggers. You know what I'm saying? Here's another card that I thought would be really good in the deck, but ultimately I left it out because it was just too inconsistent too often I was drawing up too low of cost. And that's interpret the signs. Scry 3, then reveal the top card of your library. Draw cards equal to that card's converted mana cost. I mean, it could be really powerful, and it's just a 1 blue and 5 other mana. So I mean, it'd be a good card to splash in for extra drawing power. Now they have some really nice commons that work really well in this set, and this is the Sigiled Skink. It's a 2/1 for 2 mana, which isn't bad, but it's the ability which is really nice. Whenever the Sigiled Skink attacks, you could scry 1 to get rid of the cards that might not be so good and quick put them onto the bottom to help make your deck more efficient. Orescos Swiftclaw. I mean, I might be butchering these up as far as the pronunciation, but I'm not sure if there is a right way or a wrong way. I'm sure there is, actually, but this is a nice cheap 2-drop for 3 mana. Doesn't have anything special, but I mean, a 2-drop for 3 power, should I say. Wow. This was actually the white promo card that I happened to get in one of my boosters as one of my rares. It's a Dawnbringer of Charioteers. It's got Flying and Lifelink, and it's also got Heroic Trigger. It's a 2/4 for 4 mana, which is a nice card. And they got some more interesting commons as well. Now, Rouse the Mob. They got yet another new keyword. They love their keywords in here. Strive. It pretty much works like a kicker, but with Strive you can target more than one thing with the spell, so it'll make Heroic more efficient. And this card I was a little confused with the start. I wasn't sure how this was good. But this is Armament of Nyx. Enchant creature. Enchant creature has double strike as long as it's an enchantment. Those creatures that were enchantment creatures, like, there are certain things that'll trigger. They might not necessarily be the best thing to have in your deck because they can be destroyed by stuff that destroys enchantments and or creatures. But this card gives the ability to the enchantment creatures. If your creature is an enchantment creature, it'll gain double strike. If you put that on a creature that's not an enchantment creature, it just nerfs the creature. Like, none of its combat damage gets prevented. It just can no longer deal any damage, which can work really well as a removal or a buff if you have a lot of enchantment creatures in your deck. So I could definitely see some scenarios where that would be a very powerful creature or very powerful thing. And there you got Forgeborn Oreads. Here's another constellation power that triggers when an enchantment comes onto the battlefield under your control. And this one will deal 1 damage to target creature or player. Very good for getting rid of those little one creatures that have those nasty tap abilities. And another neat card from that set, the Supply Line Cranes. These are handy cards that I saw in a lot of decks. It's a 2/4 flying. When they enter the battlefield, you get to put a 1/1 counter on a target creature. So needless to say, I had a lot of fun. I enjoyed it immensely. I'm not one of those people that go to every pre-release, but I like to be able to get to one because I like seeing the new cards. I like collecting the new cards. I did fairly well enough to earn myself 6 booster packs, and I think it's time to start opening because I want to see what's in here, and maybe you do too. All right. These booster packs are childproof. All right, here we go. So we got ourselves our little advertisement card and an island. So we have Aerial Formation. Magma Spray. Eagle of the Watch. Font of Fertility. Farika's Chosen. Aspect of Gorgon. Some neat cards here. Oppressive Rays. Pin to the Earth. Renowned Weaver. Flurry of Horns. And those ones are our commons. Definitely not useless commons, that's for sure. I mean, this Flurry of Horns would definitely be welcome in some Minotaur decks, I'm sure. Tethmost, High Priest. Not sure how good that is for how you guys can read that at home. Might be a little too much light on that. Might be getting some glare. I think they're actually better in the sleeves. Interpret the Signs. I had a couple of these that didn't make it into my deck, but I'm sure that it would be really strong in a green-blue deck, especially when you got lots of higher cost mana green creatures. Leonin Iconoclast. Definitely see some cat decks happening in the future. Or actually, I'm pretty sure they're happening now. And the rare. It's a 3-drop, 5/5 enchantment creature demon. Now you're thinking, that's broken. Yeah, kind of. It flies, but at the beginning of your upkeep, each opponent draws a card. So that's a pretty big drawback. But I mean, if you drop that early enough, you could finish off your opponent fast. And I mean, them getting the extra cards kind of sucks, but you're also hitting them for five damage a turn, which is gonna be pretty brutal. All right, here we go. Next pack. I mean, 5/5. A creature that's giving your opponent cards, they probably don't really want to get rid of it as long as they can live, right? All right, so got ourselves a enchantment creature spider token and a mountain. Off to the rare and uncommons here. So we got Desperate Stand. Squelching Leeches. Oh, that's a nice card, actually. The Squelching Leeches have power and toughness are equal to the number of swamps you control. So it's a nightmare that doesn't fly. And for 4 mana, it's a lot easier to get out than a nightmare. Pull from the Deep. Return 1 target instant card and up to 1 target sorcery card from your graveyard to your hand, and then exile it. Or then exile Pull from the Deep. Yeah, pull it out of the graveyard just to exile it. That doesn't make any sense. And the rare Skybind. It's an enchantment. Whenever Skybind or another enchantment enters the battlefield under your control, exile target non-enchantment permanent. Return that card to the battlefield under its owner's control at the beginning of the next upkeep. So that'd be really good for one of those decks that bounce a lot of your stuff around to get all the enter the battlefield bonuses. I don't know so much of the Magic lingo, but I'm getting better, I guess, maybe. Am I? I don't know. By the way, if you guys like my opening videos, seen my reactions to different things, let me know, or let me know how I could do things better. And I'll probably end up buying a booster box of Journey into Nyx that I'd like to open in front of you. But give me any suggestions you want. All right. It'd be nice. I know I'm not the most eloquent speakers. But, I mean, my reactions are my reactions. And I'm not super comfortable in front of the camera, but I do like sharing things about the games and stuff. So anyways, here we go again. God Hunter Octopus, Sigil Skink, Font of Vigor. It seems that every color is getting a font with different effects. And Dreadbringer Lampads, very nice. I'm finding a lot of constellation keywords in this or in here, which are good. Any number of target creatures each gain double strike until the end of turn. Wow. You can. It's got a casting cost of 3, and then you have to pump it up a colorless and a white for each other target you wanted to get. I thought it did. Let's just have a look at the difference of the artwork, if there is. Or maybe it's just the fact that I had it in plastic that makes it look different. Because that does when I look, yeah, that is definitely different artwork. Interesting. I did not know that till now. There's the regular Scourge of the Fleets, and if you were lucky enough to get the promo foil, it looks like that. Regular, promo foil, of course, in plastic, because that was in my deck. Move on to number 4 booster pack. Let's see what we got here. And common. Actually, that one's pretty neat. Warwing Siren. Nice artwork on it. It's just a common. It's a 1/3 flyer for 3 mana. And it's got Heroic with the +1/+1 counter, which is, I mean, if Heroic is your thing, I mean, Heroic can be very, very powerful if you lots of, especially with the Strive keyword on a lot of the cards now. So it's a 2-mana drop that 2/2 that attacks each turn, but it can also be bestowed, and if you enchant a creature with it, that creature then has to attack every turn if able, and they get +2/+2. Well, this one could be very powerful. Spite of Mogus. Spite of Mogus deals damage to target creature equal to the number of instant and sorcery cards in your graveyard. Scry 1. I mean, if you got a big control deck for red, lots of powerful spells you nuke your opponents with, that could be pretty cool. Eidolon of Rhetoric. I actually got this one as well in my pre-release box. This one could be a double-edged sword. It's a 3-mana 1/4 drop. Each player can't cast more than one spell each turn. And that may or may not be a good thing. I mean, that would definitely mess with people who use Storm a lot. And then the Eidolon of the Great Revel. 2-drop for 2/2. Red. Nice artwork on these. Whenever a player casts a spell with converted mana cost 3 or less, the Eidolon of the Great Revel deals 2 damage to that player. Yeah, another nasty card if you use a lot of cards with the Storm keyword. I haven't seen a whole lot of those. But that would be really good against the little white weenie decks, the guys who are constantly casting little spells to get at you fast. This would definitely hurt them for casting their little weenies. And we also got a Swamp and a Minotaur token. That's a pretty cool looking Minotaur token. Pack 5. I promise I won't go this slow when I open up the booster box. Alright, let's see what we got here. Ooh, got a cool enchantment creature snake token. Nice artwork on these. And the rare Polymorphous Rush. Polymorphous Rush costs 1 and a blue more to cost for each target beyond the first, and it costs 3 to start, 2 colorless and 1 blue. Choose a creature on the battlefield. Any number of target creatures that you control each become a copy of that creature until the end of turn. That could be quite game breaking. I mean, you get a lot of mana, and all of a sudden your opponent's best creature becomes 3 of your creatures. That could be really nasty, especially if you're talking about creatures with Annihilator. Annihilator's nasty, isn't it? Relic of Abandon. That'd be good against clearing the board on little weenie tokens. It'd also be good to really pump up your Minotaurs too, if your opponent has no defense. Another Phalanx formation. Ooh, knowledge and power. And it's an enchantment. Whenever you scry, you may pay 2. If you do, knowledge and power deals 2 damage to target creature or player. So that allows you to really use scry to deal damage and control, which can be really handy. I could see a lot of decks playing that. That could be very useful. And last but not least, well, hopefully not least, the last booster. Keep in mind I haven't found a god yet, which is kind of what I'm hoping for. Maybe this one will do it. So let's see what we got. Alright, maybe a little disappointing. But I got myself another Dictator Crucifix. My little flashing in Howling Mine. So here is Fricka's Chosen. It's a black 1/1 snake with Death Touch. It's just a handy little thing to throw at the start, just to, maybe they don't want to attack because they don't want to lose their big creature to the little 1/1 with Death Touch. And here is what people have referred to as the Scryfish. The Sigiled Starfish. It just a 0/3, so it's good for blocking the little weenie stuff at the start of the game. And for 2 drop, and you could tap it to scry 1, which is really good as far as, being able to manage your deck. Very handy little card there. Oh, and I also got, this is another new one, Dictate of Crucifix, which is pretty much a Howling Mine you can flash in. Why do you care whether you can flash it in? Well, it means that you could flash it in at the end of your opponent's turn, so then you get to be the one who draws the 2 cards first, as opposed to your opponent always being the first one who can draw the cards. So definitely a lot of neat cards. And I'll just read off the Journey into Nyx deck archetypes for the blue-black deck. With the Journey into Nyx cards, can take over games with creature kill spells and card drawing. You can also use blue spells that return creatures to the opponent's hand. Give your flying creatures a time they need to be attacked for the